Hi guys, welcome to Taylor Talks Trades. In today's episode, we have Michelle Long, the General Manager from Taylor Roofs, and we're talking about women in construction, climbing the career ladder, and saying yes to opportunities. I hope you enjoy. Hi Michelle, welcome to Taylor Talks Trades. I'll start where I always start. How did you get into the trade?
Started originally on a help desk in a call centre for a reactive maintenance firm. That was 10 plus years ago now. Slowly from there, just kind of built up, team leader on the help desk, doing more of the office side of things. Went off maternity leave, came back, and I got the chance at being a trainee contracts manager and took the plunge for there into the trades operational background stuff.
What was that like then? Like, was that a big task going in? It's quite male driven environment. And
definitely, it was all males. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to do it.
Yep.
But I did have a training plan over a course of a year. It did happen at COVID time, so it changed constantly. But it was definitely hard but rewarding at the same time, and I definitely don't regret taking that plunge into the trades or operational role at all.
And how do you think you found to get the respect of the men that was in the industry?
It was hard at the time because at the time I was their help desk planner for the long-term staff that was still there. So they seen me as Michelle the planner for a long time until I started making positive changes for them, having their backs on health and safety and how they were working, and gradually through time they then seen me as the contracts manager leading the contracts. And it's as well for the clients as well, because again, they were long-term clients, so they seen me work in the office in the background, and it wasn't until I'm sitting in front of clients in meetings discussing operational issues or problems that it then came.
And then how did that evolve for there then? Did that evolve and then you're coming on board with Taylor Roofs, or is there like steps in between that?
No, trainee, done my SMS, TS, all the tickets that you need to run sites.
Sorry, is there see when you did the SMS, TS, was there like a lot of females on that course?
I was the only one on my particular course. I know that there is definitely females that go on it, but the one that I was particularly on, ours was still done online because of COVID. So you had to dial in on Teams and have your camera on. I was the only female on that, and it was daunting. There was large companies on that with site managers, construction managers on there. So it was very, and that was at the very early stages of my trainee training for it. But past it, and we got through that part of it. And I think just getting yourself out on site helps you massively with your confidence. Certainly for me, you can have all the tickets and the training in the world, but until you're physically out there, seeing the guys, how your site's set up, your folders, risk assessments and stuff, that's the only way you get your confidence up there.
And that probably gives them a bit of builds a bit more respect because they actually see you out there. You're not scared to get your hands dirty, albeit you're maybe not out doing a job or whatever, but you're seeing how it's all put together, how it can be easier for them. And I think that's probably for Taylor Roofs especially, we knew that we needed somebody to come in who could sort of take everything that was already there, but just maybe drive the processes a bit more, make it easier for everybody in the current roles and create any new roles that's needed. And I think, what do you think about how that challenge has been? Is that?
It's trying to get your trades to see the other side of it as well. I mean, they're out there, if it's joiners, plumbers, roofers, they're out there to do a specific job and they know what it's usually on a sheet or a PDA as such, and they know what they're doing out there. But if they didn't do that, what effect that then has at the back office side, whether it's your admin staff, your help desk staff, accounts, the money that we get in at the end of the job, it's trying to get everybody to understand the bigger picture, and that's seeing it through, and it's listening to them as well, because they might have a valid point. It's very easy to sit in an office and make all of these processes, but if you don't involve them, it could counteract what you're trying to do.
No, that's good. And you've progressed quite well in that sort of 10, 11 years then. What's been the biggest driver that's caused that then?
When I left school, I never had a plan what I was wanting to do. I left school, went straight into an office job. It was actually in an accounts department, which I didn't really like very much, to be honest with you. And then I kind of progressed on to help desk for there, and it was container hire that I originally started on years and years ago, and then I went to reactive maintenance for social housing. And I think it's just, I just never had a plan. I just seen where my career took me. I always gave 100% no matter what I had done. And I think the driver for me for going from an office space to an operational role was, it was so challenging, and you didn't know what you were walking into each day, especially on obviously the reactive maintenance. Anything could have happened that day. So it was very reactive, and you just had to make decisions the best that you could in a very short space of time. But I think just not having a plan for me, and I don't, still now, like I just want to keep progressing as much as I possibly can.
Always doing your best and just getting out of your comfort zone.
That's it.
Like getting on podcasts.
That's
and
it, definitely.
No, that's good. And so, like, obviously you're an ambassador to any women out there who's wanting to get into construction. You're also probably, you're showing that what a career pathway can be like, even for women. What would your advice be to any of our listeners that are females that's maybe thinking about, like, school leavers even looking to get into the trade? Like, what would your advice be to them on that?
It doesn't need to be site-based, and I think that is the misconception sometimes when you're in an operational role or a site role. You're not physically on, there's roles out there that you don't have to be on site. So you've got bid writers, you've got surveyors, site managers, health and safety, the list goes on and on and on and on, and there's so many roles out there, and this probably doesn't get shown to you at school when you're ready to leave and take that leap into the big world. Do you go to uni, do you go to college, or do you get your experience working in a company that is in construction? I think if you don't set yourself any boundaries and keep an open mind, because as you progress through your career, your eyes get open to all these different chains of work, and you could change it halfway through. You could change and say, do you know what, I want to do the bid writing, for example. I want to go and do site management or health and safety management. And as long as you put the hard work into it, you can do it. You don't need a trade background to do it. You just need the drive and the passion for to push forward to do it in your career.
I think even for, like, maybe not even just only females as such, but for anybody looking to be quite career driven and make their way up through the ladder like you've done, like, what's needed there? Is that, like, is it sacrifice? Is there something? Is there need to be almost something you didn't do that, like, some people maybe just go in and do their job day in, day out, but, like, there must be something different, because, like, no everybody just goes through the career ladder.
Definitely,
like that. So
you take on tasks that you don't, that's not in your job description as such. So if you hear a project happening or anything like that, you think, you know what, I really want to get involved in that. You do that as well as your day job in the company that you're working for. For me, I found that went so far. There was before I moved into a trainee contracts manager, there was a project that was happening in the previous company. And it was managing it was a social value thing, and they needed a project manager, and I was like, I really want to get involved in that. Couldn't do it because I didn't have the tickets and stuff like that, but they did bring our contracts manager on to help me through it, and it opened my eyes up to how hard it is. It's not just as easy as what everybody thinks, but also helped me, and it confirmed to me that this is definitely what I'm wanting to get into. So it is sacrificing time. Don't
going
just
over and above, I guess.
That's not in my job description. I'm not doing that. If you want to progress, you take on the extra task. You get the thanks for it at the end. You definitely.
I can relate to that, because a lot of the times, and even for a business owner's point of view, for me, trying to maybe get to the next stage as such, like, it just meant that, like, the operations was running all day, and then in the evenings I would do all the sales then, so I'd maybe be out looking at, like, surveys during the day, but then I would leave the coating tonight, and it's like, that's how you get ahead, that's how you fast track it. And it's not my advice to people wouldn't be like, be a workaholic, but it's almost like, if you give a wee bit more, then it will get noticed.
Absolutely, you've still got to have that work-life balance without a shadow of a doubt. But it's just that wee bit, and as you say, it's not like just constantly concentrating on your career or your work. But if you give that wee bit extra in the early stages, you do get the benefits as you work through your career or levels of management that you're going up.
Yeah, and I know you said about sort of, like, women coming into construction, and you were saying, look, it doesn't predominantly need to be site-based, because like maybe people's thinking, oh, I maybe wouldn't be able to get on the tools there. What about the ones that maybe think, actually, they want to get on the tools? Do you think we'll see more of that? Like, we've never had a roofer a female roofer at Taylor Roofs, and I'm not against it in any way. Like, I think it would be great, but it needs to be right for whoever the female is, and we've never even had an applicant, I don't think. So I wonder if that's something you'll be able to drive and maybe change.
I would love to be that person to make that change. I definitely would. I am a big ambassador, and I think it's really important that everybody gets the opportunity. And a lot of people may say, how would a young female be able to lift the ladders or do the manual part of the job? But you look at some of the guys that come in who are younger as well, they need to learn at their own pace. I do think it will get better. I think it is getting better. We've got a long way to go, I feel, definitely. But there is, and again, previous work life, we did have a couple of females. We had a female painter and a female joiner. So there is. But again, the applicants just weren't there for apprenticeships, for work placements and things like that, for to get the younger ones. And I think schools are a massive part to do that. They need to open it. It's not just the guys that get the opportunity, the apprenticeships. As well.
I think some of the work we're going to be doing, like there's a few things kind of kicking off. The West Lothian Council Construction Forum is one of them, and that's probably where the sort of link between us and other trades businesses will be able to link in with the high schools to say, well, come and do like a bit of work experience, or come and get a bit of an understanding of what it's like, and hopefully like that will start to almost bridge that gap, if you like, and make it a possibility for like all young people coming through, to be honest, male and female. But I think there's quite a lot of talk about women in construction now, and I just think the more that we can kind of bring the attention to it, then hopefully we'll drive more change. Because you just like I suppose when you look at Taylor Roofs, I was kind of done the sums yesterday, but there's 22 males and 5 females, so it is like I think we've got quite, like I thought 5 was a lot of females, but it's still, when you look at it on that scale, it's quite a lot.
And I think this is what scares employers, because a lot of employers think, because I've spoke to loads of people about this, and loads of employers always think, oh, does it look like we're just doing this to tick a box? But we need to start somewhere. We need to start somewhere. Me and Kelly met with Arlene yesterday for the young people, and I think we're really wanting to obviously get into schools, and that is where we get the engagement at that age, and because they're just new into the world of work, and I think if we get them then, I think we would have a better chance than later on in life.
Think how say you were to go into a high school, right, and I don't know, like S4, S5 or whatever it is, and you explain to them what it is you're doing and what your career path has been. Like, a lot of them wouldn't even have known that would exist. They probably didn't think that that's an option. They probably didn't really think getting on the tools is an option either. So it's really interesting. I'm quite intrigued to see where it's going to go, because I'm like quite a big ambassador of it as well. Like, we had people maybe commenting on LinkedIn and stuff like that, saying like, do you think women are able to be in the trades? Like, they maybe can't lift stuff the same, and like you hit the nail on the head when you said that. It's like, we've got some young guys that's just out of school that they probably can't lift ladders right yet. It's like, that's just all part of their development. Like, it's not because of the size that you're, or whether you're male or female. It's about getting shown the proper induction plan, then proper induction training, being shown how to hold the ladders, what angle to put them at, and all of that stuff. It's like, a male or female could do that.
I totally agree with that. But I think schools as well, they predominantly, for apprenticeships, they predominantly do your joiners, plumbers, gas engineers, painting and decorating. I don't like roofing. Like, I can never remember really anybody like talking about it or promoting it or anything like that. It's normally like what I've just said, the trades that
I think we're starting to get there now. Like, I think we're getting sort of almost the relationships, and probably COVID's played a big part in it, no being moving quicker. But I think now it's time to catch up. Like, I think there'll be a lot of work that we do that goes into the schools, the colleges. I think we're meant to be meeting with like West Lothian College. They've not even got a roofing department yet. I think the amount of roofers that is actually in West Lothian, and there could be a lot more, because people's travelling to Edinburgh, like Lanarkshire, Glasgow. Like Ben, one of our apprentices, he's away over to like Paisley, so it's a lot. It's quite a quite a big block. Like if it was just local, then they could just be gone away from school and gone up there and seen it. So no, I think we'll drive it forward. I definitely do. I think you can drive so much change. Like I really do. I think for any young female looking to get into construction and just seeing that, look, after 10 years to be in a general manager's position at a multi-million-pound roofing company, like, could you actually have expected much more?
Exactly. It's really good, I think, because you're open so much to change the now and everything like that. It makes my job a lot easier when I'm like, look, can we just run with this? And it does make my job a lot easier.
It's trying to like just be able to adapt in that as well. And like,
the team have been really good though, really good, because we have changed quite small things, but quite a lot in a short space of time, and they're just been like just adapting to it and just rolling with it. Which is great. Thank goodness.
Definitely. Do you think that the men do respect the females in like your kind of position? Do you think that you do get that respect, but it's like it's not so much about being maybe a female, it's more like actually just doing a good job? Like if you do a good job, will you just get the respect anyway?
I do think that. I definitely, but you've got to, but then also, you've got to prove yourself, which was what I was going to say there. You've got to prove yourself, but I think in any management position, it doesn't matter if it's site or office space. It doesn't. You've got to prove yourself, and especially coming into a new job as well. They don't know you. They don't know your background, and you have. I would say it's probably harder to gain that respect because they're probably saying, well, she doesn't know how to strip a roof, do this, do that. And you can probably see it in people's eyes when you're talking to them as well. But you need to invest that time to get them believing in you, that you're there for the right reasons. You're looking at for them putting processes in to make it better for them. And then obviously as the business grows, it just happens naturally. So I definitely do. I think it's tough, but I think it would be tough in no matter what management role you were in. It's not easy standing in front of 20 odd guys doing a toolbox talk. It's not easy, and I don't think I'll ever get it. But you do it. You've just got to put it.
I think that's a big part of having you on, is just to anybody else out there, male or female, again, like just put yourself out your comfort zone. Just do it, and it's like the more that we do that, that's what makes you a leader, I suppose. And is there anything that you got any tips or anything on like management or leadership or anything like that you would share that's sort of helped you?
I think if your employer gives you any training, mentorship or anything like that, take it. Take everything that you can get and push yourself out your comfort zone. And I know I've said that before, but it genuinely is, you're never going to get any better if you stay within that comfort zone. With the management side of things, like having difficult conversations, and especially if you've not got a trade background and you're pulling somebody up for their workmanship, that'll be a difficult conversation because you might get that challenge back. You need to do your research as well. You've got to learn as much as you possibly can. I'll never know how to do the roofer's job, but I strive to learn terminology and how we would get to that point.
So you can understand it through their eyes.
Exactly.
I think that's the thing as well. There is a lot like it's probably easy for anybody to look at their manager and be like, well, you didn't need to do this or you didn't need to do that. But I think to be honest, it's like, you're not here to strip roofs. You're not here to actually do the work, and it's and a lot of the time it's like that's what the guys, well, all guys are now, no females on the tools yet, but like them guys, like that's what they're good at. So it's about you creating an environment where they can thrive. That's it. A culture where they actually feel valued, they're listened to. You're trying to, like, I know personally that you're trying to, especially obviously within Taylor Roof, you're trying to drive positive change for them, things that will make it better for them. Just even like knee pads and things like that, things that didn't used to be in our PPE kit, things that's changed just for the short space of time that you've been with us, and probably other wee bits and bobs that you'll continue to do. And I think without us bringing yourself in, it's brought in like a new set of eyes. And also it's like when we're saying like we've been wanting to try and change this for a couple of years, you're just kind of going, right, well, I'll just change that and do it. So it's a breath of fresh air for us as well. And hopefully you can continue to go on and do that. Well, thanks for coming on. That was great.
Thank you very much.